Hello all, Jamie Rodgers here today from Creative Expressions with a quick card using stencil techniques on top of canvas dies. For today's card we're going to need some mini stencils, so I'm using some of course from Creative Expressions. I'm also going to be using my original rectangle die from the canvas collection. Now I'm going to send this through my machine and cut it out of some bright white foundations cardstock. Now as this die cuts, it will also score the walls or the sides to our canvas, and it will cut the tabs that we need so that we can glue this together and turn this into a 3D object. So everything is done for you. Once you've got your cutout, we can start working on top of this with whichever mediums we'd like to. I'm going to start off with some blending brushes from Creative, my lovely large brick wall stencil, and I'm going to use some Cosmic Shimmer Colour Cloud blending ink in Sunlit Cedar to go across and create my brickwork. Now of course this could be several different colours of bricks if we'd like them to be, but I quite like these sort of tan bricks to begin with because they're quite a light background to work on top of. I'm sort of inspired to create this style by of course the Banksy artworks or graffiti artworks that we've seen, very popular at the moment. So it's a nice way to build up. You could add your own writing to these bricks if you wanted to. You could stamp sentiments on them, or like I'm going to, you could of course use other stencils to build up on top of this one. I'm using my brick wall stencil to just go around and make sure all of the edges are covered. Now the outside edge to our die cut is the bit that is going to be folded round and actually glued onto our cardstock. So that 7mm edge all the way around this panel is not going to be seen once it's added to the card. So you don't have to worry too much how the edges look. I'm going to bring in my butterfly stencil now, and I'm going to hold this in place. I'm going to bring in a piece of card to protect the bottom of the canvas panel, and I'm going to use another blending brush from Creative, this time with Wendy Vecchi Makeup Blendable Die Inks Incarnation Red, and I'm just going to blend this over the top of the stencil. These are again really lovely inks to work with, and actually as you can see will work very well with our colour cloud inks. Now once I have created my canvas or decorated it, I can start thinking about building it. So I'm going to use a bone folder to just go around all of the crease lines and burnish them into place, because that will certainly help with our building. I'm also going to fold in my 4 little tabs, and I'm going to bring in some Cosmic Shimmer Dry's clear glue that I've decanted into a Woodware ultrafine bottle, and I'm going to use some of our Woodware mini pegs to go around and glue all of these tabs together, creating the side walls and then gluing on the top to create the back part of the canvas. Once I've done this, I can then remove the pegs. It's a good idea to remove them before the glue has completely dried, just in case you have any areas where the peg has actually sat in the glue. You don't want to glue the pegs onto the canvas for life. So when ready, remove them. I'm also going to be using this set of Noble dies from Sue Wilson to actually create a couple of layers for my card. Now I've gone ahead and I've cut one out of bright white cardstock, and I'm also going to be using a grey cardstock from Foundations again to distress around the edges with. I'm going to use the blending brushes I was already using, and I'm going to use the same colours of ink. So again, that is the Wendy Vecchi Makeup Blendable Die Ink Incarnation Red and the Cosmic Shimmer Colour Cloud Blending Ink in Sunlit Cedar. And I really like how these two actually blend together. They give a really nice vintage effect around the edge of your cardstock. When we come on to building our actual card, I'm going to start off with a card base, which is 5 3/4 inches by 4 1/4, and then I've added 2 layers onto that, just stepping down as you do for each layer. Now we can pop these two to one side for the second, and we will bring back in our canvas. We can remove our pegs, and then I've pushed the boundaries of time here a little, to be honest with you. My glue hasn't completely set, but I'm going to go for it anyway. I'm going to bring back in my blending brushes. I'm going to use some more of that Sunlit Cedar ink, and I'm just going around to tone down all of the sides of my canvas, which again will give it a bit more of a shadow or depth feeling to the project. Now once we've created that panel, we can pop that to one side. We can then bring in that card blank that I gave you the measurements for just a moment ago, and we'll bring on them lovely Noble die cuts that we mentioned. Now, as you can see, I've got a nice large white one that I've placed on first, then my distressed white edge, then my lovely grey panel with the blending around the side of it, and then I'm going to bring in my canvas. Now, as you can see, I've built up 2 levels of 3mm foam pads in the middle, just to give that project some depth and to protect that canvas, so when it's posted, it cannot be pushed down on and it will not damage. I'm then going to bring in the Pinwheel Floral flower set from Sue Wilson, and I've just layered these together to make 2 flowers in the corner of my project. What's quite nice with this flower set is actually there's several things that's quite nice with this flower set, but one of the bits I really love are the leaves. These are really delicate, pretty leaves, and Sue has done them in both directions, so when we come to building them up around canvases or corners, making wreaths or borders, they don't get too repetitive too quickly. They're going to shape out really nicely for you. So I'm just going to play around a little bit, tweaking these leaves, putting them into place until I'm happy with them, adding more sets going up vertically than across to the side, but just making sure that I'm happy with the finished result. And then that completes our lovely little card for today. All of the products that I have shared with you today are of course available from all good Creative Expressions stockists worldwide. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I really look forward to seeing you again soon for our next little mini demo. Thanks for watching, bye for now.